It's been a while since I wore this jacket. I can feel the winter whispering that the cut is slowly coming to an end.
It's been over half a year now since I decided I'd do a solid little 3 to 4 month cut, determined to make a vlog series about the whole process, and stepped on the scale at exactly 100 kilos of body weight. And while I knew I had a lot of work to do since I'd kind of let my body composition get out of hand in the previous few years, I certainly didn't expect to be doing this for 30 weeks straight, let alone actually enjoying the whole process. But here we are. I attribute most of this success to the fact that after the first couple of months, I started taking it really easy by losing fat at a much more moderate pace, instead of aiming for those brutally fast changes that often get the most attention and admiration on social media. I have done that before. In 2017, I lost 10 kilos of weight in 10 weeks without even being particularly fat when I started the cut, and I got a borderline eating disorder. I've never craved for anything in my life as much as I did something like white bread back then. And even after eating a kebab and fries meal of like 1,500 calories on the regular, I didn't get the feeling of being full. I could have gone for a weight loss pace of 1 kilo per week on this cut as well, but I can guarantee you I wouldn't have kept doing this for more than 3 months if that was the case. I would have developed crazy cravings again, and very likely my weight would have bounced half the way back up by next spring. But now I course corrected multiple times during this cut. I lost about 0.9 kilos of weight per week for the first couple of months. Then as soon as I started feeling signs of diet fatigue, I reduced it down to 0.7 kilos of weight loss per week, kept that up for a few months, and then reduced it down to 0.5 kilos of weight loss per week for these last couple of months again. Now I'm not craving anything at all, and I can 100% confidently say that as I move on to a slow bulk after this cut over the winter and possibly even over the spring, depending on how well my training momentum goes, I can control my eating completely. In before another dreamer bulk and I'm 100 kilos again next spring. I could in fact still keep doing this, but number one, I already achieved my goal, which was to get lean, so I don't really see the point. And number two, I want to start focusing on my training 100% again, which largely benefits from a slight calorie surplus. If you have a lot of weight to lose or you're just entering into a fat loss phase, you may feel highly motivated to lose the fat really fast. And that is completely fine in my opinion, but as soon as you start feeling any signs of diet fatigue, being stressed out in general, or experiencing cravings, I would immediately start loosening up the pace. It really isn't such a bummer to lose the weight a little bit slower once you already have a bunch of progress and momentum behind you. It really is a marathon, and there is nothing like time when it comes to making weight loss progress. At some point, you just have to put your head down and play the long game. Now, it's already Friday of week 30 as I'm recording this voiceover at this beautiful lakeside, so I'm practically done with the cut already at this point. The final video in the series will come out next week after I'm done editing it, along with my future plans for the channel.
Damn, it cleared out a lot while I was doing this.
Well, time to fuck off then.
Moved back to my place of residence, so my actual home this week, and with this, summer is now officially over for me. Feels like it went by really fast, and it certainly was one of a kind, making these videos, losing so much weight, and living in 3 different cities during the course of it. As for my stats this week, my waist was actually down to 79 centimeters, however I don't think this is the leanest I've ever been. I was probably just less bloated overall. Arms were also down to 37 centimeters, so powerlifter alert, except without actual numbers. Calories were the usual, 2,782. Average weight was only down by 0.1 kilos, but it happens, and I hope I can finish stronger next week. But even if not, I'm very happy with the progress I've made, and it certainly exceeds what I expected to get during this particular weight loss phase. Finally, my daily step average was 17,000 this week, so I'm calming down a little bit from this 20,000, 22,500 madness that I've been doing in these past few weeks. I'm slowly regaining my sanity as I prepare to end this cut and slowly moving on to a maintenance/bulk phase.
Hienosti taitava.
A few training updates from this week. This is what the program now looks like after I made some changes last week because of right shoulder pain. And so far I can say that it seems to be moving in a better direction already. Deep high bar squats are going really well. I've been adding 2.5 kilos to them each week for the past month or so. Really finding my groove there, managing to stay tight, keep the bar in place and so on, which wasn't necessarily the case when I started this program and started doing them a little bit heavier again. And my first time doing 5x5 bench in a while after making that change last week, 100 kilos moved really nicely. The first set was actually kinda painful for the shoulder, but then the second set and onward I didn't feel any pain, so that's a good sign when it gets better as you do stuff instead of getting worse. Here I'm doing stiff leg deadlifts with 130 kilos for 5x5. These are also moving probably better than ever before, but if not, then at least as well as ever. I'm probably gonna hold them at 130 kilos for a few weeks now because this was certainly quite challenging and you don't really want to go overboard with any heavy deadlift variation. Made a chin-up personal record out of nowhere, getting 17 clean chin-ups in a row. My previous one was 16 at a body weight that was about 5 kilos lighter than now, way back like 4 years ago. Haven't made as much progress on these as one would perhaps like, but still very happy to see some progress, especially after having done 5x5 stiff-legged deadlifts and 5x5 overhead press. So my lats or even biceps definitely weren't completely fresh here. Barbell rows are going really well, especially considering how much body weight I've lost. Did these with 95 kilos for 3 sets of 5 this week, and still managing to keep a pretty good form. And here is me doing lying tricep extensions for like the first time in a year or so. Starting them pretty easy as I haven't done them in a while. Did 3 sets of 8 with 40 kilos. This honestly is a really great exercise that I should be doing more often. If you do them like this, where it's kind of a hybrid between a pullover and a lying tricep extension. So you're involving your shoulders, your triceps, your lats and your chest when you do it, making it essentially a full body exercise with a primary focus on the triceps. Even though my stiff-legged deadlifts are going really well, my actual deadlifts were suddenly really heavy this week. I did start doing them with a mixed grip instead of straps since last week, but last week it was still easy, now it was suddenly hard. I think I was just failing to use my lats properly, so the bar drifted a little bit away from me, making it exponentially harder than what it should be. Switched my overhead pressing technique to the starting strength / Olympic style. Your knees and legs still stay completely locked, you just swing your hips forward in the beginning to initiate the movement. Whereas 60 kilos for 1 set of 5 was relatively difficult last week, now I did 5x5 with 60 kilos and it wasn't too bad, and I did 1 set of 5 with 63 kilos here. Did my weighted chin-ups with 21.25 kilos, so a 20 and then the smallest standard plate. Decided to start off my dips with the same amount of weight because traditionally I am much stronger on dips than chin-ups, so this was an easy conservative start for that. Sometimes in my past I've been able to do dips just fine, sometimes not. We'll see which one it is this time. I think how aggressively you start doing them definitely matters, and this certainly wasn't aggressive. Anyway guys, that's all I had for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Next week will be the 30th and final week of this series, so look forward to that one. I'll see you then. Cargo Truck out.